caretakers. There's no money to fund it now. WHS 11 News at 5 starts now.
I've now been governor for at least 14 federally declared disasters, 13 of them weather, and this is one of the worst. It's one of the worst in terms of the loss of human life. It's one of the worst in terms of damage, and it's tough.
19 people are dead following a deadly and destructive tornado outbreak on Friday in southeastern Kentucky. Surveyors are still working to determine the strength of the deadly tornado that hit Laurel County. But the National Weather Service said it touched down as at least an EF3 that's near the London Corbin Airport. The storm began in Missouri, tracking 500 miles into southern and eastern Kentucky communities. This is the twister that touched down in Laurel County and is responsible again for 17 of the 19 deaths. Another person died in Russell County and another in Pulaski, which is Somerset. And thanks for joining us here on WHS 11 News at 5. I'm Connie Leonard.
And I'm Doug Profit. We want to bring you video from our Sky 11 drone, brand new video of the damage in the small community of London, Kentucky, right off I-75 in southeastern Kentucky. This is about 2.5 hours southeast of Louisville. Neighborhoods gone, as you can see from the drone, the debris scattered everywhere. This is Laurel County, Kentucky now, unrecognizable today with homes and businesses shredded. Longtime neighborhoods there. Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Emma Gefter are joining us live. Alexandra, this is the second day you have been down there. Can you walk through me any progress you've seen in any kind of cleanup since Saturday?
Yeah, Doug, Connie, in terms of progress and cleanup, a significant amount. But we tried to get a vantage point to show you what the totality of this destruction at this point looks like now. But here on the ground, I'm actually standing in someone's home. What I'm walking into right now, this is someone's crawl space. We did learn that these homeowners are safe and they're okay, but this is complete rubble. I mean, everything from music books to wood and insulation have fallen in here. And the Laurel County Sheriff's Office did confirm with us that Sunshine Hills, where I am now, is where the county saw the most fatalities, and this community is grieving.
We were just in a tornado, and so we opened the door, and I looked up and I could see the sky.
There's only one room in Vanessa Mullen's home in Sunshine Hills with a roof still intact.
This is where we were at, was in the bathroom here.
It's what she calls an act of God, protecting her family through a fatal tornado that ripped through London, Kentucky and Laurel County.
Yeah, I mean, the ceiling's still there and everything. Like, it's just amazing.
It's completely untouched, just a crack in the ceiling, but that's it. It's a jarring difference compared to the rest of her home that is utterly torn apart.
Makes me know that God was watching over us at that time.
The rest of her street, a scene completely unfamiliar.
This was one of my neighbors. She was killed during the tornado.
In Sunshine Hills, the streets are heavy with grief.
As you can see, you can't see any of the brick anymore. It's completely gone.
The Laurel County Sheriff's Office said this subdivision saw the most fatalities. Many of Mullen's neighbors were injured, some even killed.
These were some of my neighbors that lived over here, and they didn't make it either.
Filled with grief, but Mullen says she's grateful to have dozens of helping hands in London working together to rebuild. And everything from this home that was destroyed by the tornado made it into this pile of rubble behind me. And this is a scene that you can see on almost every plot of land here in Sunshine Hills. We're live in Laurel County. Alexandra Goldberg, WHS 11 on your side. Connie, Doug.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Alexandra. Well, people in Laurel County held a vigil at the London Corbin Airport last night, and London Mayor Randall Weddle and several pastors spoke on the value of community, the pain of loss, and that London will rebuild better than before. Mayor Weddle also spoke about leaning on his faith during this difficult time.
This devastation is brought it's a mental toll that nobody expected. And as a city, as a mayor, we want to send that message that when we don't have nobody else to turn to, that Jesus Christ will be the answer.
will serve as the central hub for this city's aid distribution. And if you know someone in need, they can go to the London airport and recovery crews will connect them to more resources there.
They're barely getting started with their cleanup there, but already we've got another weather impact day, a similar storm system possibly heading this way. Let's get to our chief meteorologist, Mallory Schnell. So, Mallory, when are the alert times for this?
Good evening, you two. So the greatest risk for severe weather for tomorrow will be more so during the afternoon and evening hours. Once again, could be as early as 1 or 2 p.m. for some of our southernmost counties. You can see London included in that, level 3 out of 5. The severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center tomorrow. And unfortunately, yes, we still are talking about that risk for tornadoes with this setup as well. So certainly something we have to monitor really closely, really in south central Kentucky and southern Kentucky in general. Satellite and radar, thankfully, right now, all is quiet here. We had some cloud cover around this morning. Those clouds have cleared, allowing for more sunshine across Kentucky. And temperatures here locally in the upper 70s and lower 80s. And dew points, those are starting to increase just a bit. So we had much drier air behind that storm system on Friday for the weekend. And now dew points are beginning to pick back up, and they will continue to do so as we head into our Tuesday as well. So hourly planner for this weekend could see an isolated shower or storm more so to the southwest of Kentucky and a better chance for those scattered storms developing early tomorrow morning. And we're going to have rounds of rain off and on throughout our Tuesday. So heavy rainfall, flooding will be a threat as well. We'll talk much more about that weather impact alert day coming up in our extended forecast.
Mallory, thank you. And now only on WHAS 11 News, JCPS is down to 2. The 2 men who want to be the next JCPS superintendent, the leader here in Louisville. They are now in Louisville. They're going to be meeting you, the public, tomorrow, but you're going to meet them exclusively first and only on WHAS 11 News at this hour. Ben Schuldiner will be here at 5:30. Right now, though, we want to begin with Dr. Brian Yearwood, who led the Columbia, Missouri School District until last year.
That's right. Doctor, thank you so much for being here. We certainly appreciate it. And we want to start off with just asking you, this is a huge school system that you're talking about coming to. Just cut $100 million from the budget. A lot of things going on, transportation issues. Folks want to know, why do you want to be the leader of JCPS?
When we look at school districts, every school district is unique. They have unique problems. And, you know, the problems that exist here in JCPS, it's not only here at JCPS. There are districts, but different levels and that have issues. And I look at my skill set, and I want to make sure that wherever I land, I can have impact. I just don't want a job just to have a job. I want to have a job to elevate our students, to elevate our district, to make our community proud. And I saw, from looking for my reviews, that is something that I can do here in JCPS. So this is a very exciting time, although I know there's certain things that we need to work on.
Let's talk about the political reality, something that Marty Pollio, who is leaving, did not have to deal with 8 years ago, and that is Republicans control the politics in Kentucky and in Frankfort. They have been really on JCPS, scrutinizing it. They want to possibly break it up into different districts, depending on how they do with this hire, one of you two getting hired, and also the issues with DEI. How would you deal with the political force behind the scrutiny of JCPS?
Well, I believe in doing research first. I want to know why. I want to know why it's important to look at us this way. Why is it important to try to break us apart? Because breaking a school district apart doesn't necessarily end up in savings. You know, you must hire a superintendent in every district. That's the cost. You must hire a cabinet, etc. So I would be looking at reasons why. And, you know, just from my reading, I know there were issues with academics. Well, guess what? That's right up my wheelhouse. I'm an academic leader, a turnaround leader, and I can get us, you know, the academic progress that we need if given the opportunity. The financial crunch that we're in right now, I know there's some moves to rectify this. Again, let's go in and take a deep dive and look at opportunities. Look and see where the inefficiencies that we can work on to be able to, you know, overcome. And ultimately, the districts have been in where we had to go out, you know, to look at our taxes. We had to go out and raise taxes a bit so that we can support our school district.
You're for a tax increase, then?
Yes, yes. I would definitely be for a tax increase as long as every penny impacts our students and makes the lives of our students, makes the educational experience fantastic.
Let's talk about transportation. You had thousands of students here at JCPS that had transportation to school and then lost it. Then parents were given a stipend, and then that has been taken back because of the budget cuts. You've dealt with busing issues and problems finding bus drivers. What would you do here? Do you have any suggestions?
Yes. So the first thing that I'd be looking at is looking at the data and making sure that our actions are not depriving students from getting to school. We should not operate in such a manner that a young man can wake up ready for school but has nowhere, or young woman, and has nowhere to get there. So I'd be diving in and I'd be looking at impact, and I'll make sure that, again, our 97,000 students are getting the best educational experience possible. And if transportation is a deterrent, we need to talk about that.
One lingering question about your tenure at Missouri, which has ended. You're no longer the superintendent there. Has been the fact that the Columbia School Board voted to extend your contract through 2027. But months later, you left. You signed a non-disclosure agreement and got $700,000. Can you tell us why you left the school district? Were you forced out? Was there an issue with a board member? What happened there?
So I can say this. I did nothing unethical. I did nothing immoral. And I did nothing illegal. I'm a man of faith, and the honor of, I wouldn't do nothing to dishonor my family, nothing to dishonor myself. And there are times where there are differences of opinion, and things like this do happen. They do happen. But I assure you, there was nothing that touched on any of those.
Personal issues with a board member? Or more than one?
Because of the non-disclosure agreement, I wish I could say more. I really, really wish I could say more.
We should say JCPS said they were aware of this in the search and were fine and wanted to move on.
You couldn't tell them either, I understand.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about neighborhood schools, if we can, very quickly. There have been parents that were cold to the idea before that now are warming up to it. There have been faith leaders in many communities that said it's time now. And when you look at the transportation problem, is our neighborhood schools something that you would consider in certain areas?
Oh, definitely. You know, we have over 155 schools here. And it's important that every family, every child, when they walk in that building, they walk in with a sense of pride. So it doesn't matter if a school has a label, doesn't have a label. We will have to work to make that environment a true quality environment so that every student walking in that door is exposed to high quality teaching, is exposed to experiences that propel them to become either the local, national, or on the global stage as far as the end result of their learning and their academics. That's what I'm after.
Well, you know you're going to hear a lot from the public tomorrow. I do want to wrap this up by saying I read somewhere that you call all the students scholars, that's your term, your insistence.
Yes, yes, that's me. That's personal. As I wear my pen, I say scholars first because I believe that every child has potential. And it doesn't mean that every child has to be a doctor or lawyer, but every child has potential. Some small, some middle, some great. And as an educator, I've always prided myself in being able to pull that potential out and see students move to the next level, whatever that may be. And you'll hear me talk about this time and time again. Every child should demonstrate at least a year's worth of growth, minimally, in a year's time.
All right. Dr. Yearwood, thank you for joining us for part one of our exclusive interviews with the superintendent candidates. Good luck tomorrow. I know you all have a busy schedule.
Yes.
Already been in town for a while.
Yes, and I have to say, this is close to me being a man of faith. Many prayers to the citizens, to the residents of London. Hope that they recover quickly.
London, Kentucky.
Yes,
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate that. Yes. You're invited to meet Dr. Brian Yearwood and Ben Schuldener. By the way, Schuldener will be here at 5:30. JCPS is having those two different public forums tomorrow. First one is from 4 to 6 p.m. at the JCPS Center for Professional Learning off of Newburgh Road. The second session is from 7 to 9 at Stouffer Elementary off Aiken Road in eastern Jefferson County.